An Israeli delegation met AbaThembu King Buyelekhaya Dalindyebo to discuss providing aid for the victims of the recent floods in the Eastern Cape. Scores of people died and many who lost their homes are still in temporary shelters. Liyema Vumisa is in Mthatha and joins us now to, if you will, Liyema, take us through what actually transpired in the meeting between the king and this delegation.
A very good afternoon to you, Bravo. Well, as you rightfully mentioned there, the meeting that was held here at the King's residence, that would be then the King of AbaThembu, King Buyelekhaya Dalindyebo, was set to start or begin at 11 a.m. in the morning, and that in fact was correct. The delegation from the Israelites did in fact arrive here at that time, but there was a short delay, obviously due to introductory remarks that were held at that period, 11th hour. But then after that, that is where then a closed session was held between the king together with the Israeli delegation. Now, we couldn't be able to listen in as to what transpired there, but at least right after the meeting concluded just about an hour ago, you can imagine then the amount of hours that they did in fact spend inside the king's residence. Now, what we can continue to speculate, Bravuyo, to be the most contentious issue that the king was grappling or, was busy with during that time with the Israeli delegation would certainly be about the genocide that is, the contentious issue from that delegation. Matter of fact, right after the meeting, the king himself did in fact allude to that very same point, mentioning to us that, the Israelites, he is aware that there is an alleged genocide that's occurring there in Gaza. There seems to be, a bit of issues around there. But certainly the king, what he told us was that any assistance as far as disaster relief measures are concerned, he's welcoming them, whether they come from the Israelites, whether they come from government, whether they come from political parties, as long as there is going to be assistance that will be beneficial to his people. I did try to probe then whether or not his image as a king of the AbaThembu kingdom will not be dented in anyhow then to be seen to be associated rather with the Israelites. And then he did in fact maintain that he is reserving personal thought to that regard, but certainly what seems to be at the heart of his, at the heart of everything and really at the core of what he wants to be, perpetuated out there is that as the kingdom, they are up in arms in trying by all means to assist all those who require assistance. As you even alluded to it, Bravoyo, in your intro there, we are now on the second month since the June 10th floods ravaged parts of Mthatha and also Butterworth. Yet today, due to certain delays, even delays that pertain the kingdom itself, because at some point we understand there was land disputes as to where these victims are going to be housed. The king had to intervene together with the Minister of Land Reform and Rural Development. But right now, we still are seeing cases where other displaced flood victims are still continuing to be housed in some of those community halls, while some have just only started to receive those temporary shelters. Now, the king, with the assistance of the Israelites, says to us that they are going to be adding to that basket of money that is meant to benefit those flood victims. He is adding over 170,000 rands. That is 10,000 US dollars that we understand is going to be contributed by that delegation that comes from Israel to this kingdom. Thereafter, the kingdom tells us then, even the king himself mentioning that he will try then to ensure that he is putting that money in a supermarket that will stock up on food for all of those flood victims. As far as the contentious issue is concerned at hand, Bravoyo, the king seems to be reserving much of his personal thoughts, but rather putting forward those of the people that he serves as a king of the AbaThembu nation.
Liyema Vumisa with that update following that meeting between the Israelis and, of course, the king of AbaThembu about relief efforts that the Israelis were talking about with him.